And we welcome you in to finals day here in the BIM 10 2022 edition. It is the Guardians up against the Settlers in what is a blockbuster of an encounter. The two best teams finished 1 and 2 in the group stages. Now we'll be looking to do similar. Both got resounding victories yesterday in the semi-finals. And the news from the middle is in some overcast conditions, the Guardians have won the toss and opted to bowl first. No real surprises. We've had some inclement weather. And out in the middle for the Settlers is the powerful Kevin Stout and Kevin Wickham with the new ball, Mikhail Powell, as Jamal Smith alongside me.
Good morning to you, Nikhil, and the viewers.
First delivery of the final. Here we go. Just seemed to have hold up in the surface, and that's going to be a test. Saw the surface, Jamal, and it's a bit moist on the top. Seems like there's been some sweating from the covers. Been told no moisture's gone into it. It's a new pitch, but definitely you could expect a tricky period to start.
Yes, and certainly evidenced by that first delivery there from Kevin Stout. Hard length delivery from Mikhail Powell. Stout almost popping that one up to the mid-off region, suggesting that the pace of the wicket is just a bit onto, as you said. It is overcast, and it is, I wouldn't say tacky, but it's just a bit of moisture possibly, as you said, from that cover sweat. So the interesting period, these two, they started a bit circumspect yesterday, as you know, and they really got into their work, so we'll be expecting more of that. Settlers have been so far, to me, one of the better batting sides of the tournament.
This time extra bounce, and this man, Mikhail Powell, was the hero for this Guardians team. But not with the ball, with the bat in hand. Yesterday, they needed 13 from the last over, and he hit 20 in 6 deliveries to win the game for his team. That type of momentum will surely lift you, Jamal.
That most certainly showing his prowess with the ball as well as the bat, and the bat brought him through yesterday. Very interesting, though, today for the Guardians. There's no Jai McAllister, and as you know, he's actually sitting at exam this morning here at the university as well.
Kevin Wickham, though, if you've watched him in this tournament, you know he's been brilliant. And even on this surface, he still finds the maximum first of the day.
Yeah, beautiful shot from Wickham. We've seen a lot of this. If there's one thing about Wickham's play in Nikhil that we must let the viewers know, he looks so easy on the ice, particularly when he's going over the offside. And that's mainly because he allows himself to be able to access the ball. That left foot is always to the side of the ball. There it was on that lovely stroke again, just being able to access all his power and get his reverse to the ball, and that's something that he does quite well, and he did it again on this occasion.
So straight away runs, and that signal changed to 4. This time though, again with the extra bounce, 1 signal for the over. It's going to be a tough task though, bowling to this partnership. They were brilliant yesterday, got them off to a very fast start as they put on 59 in the power play. Wickham got 28 from 11 deliveries, so that tells you all you need to know about his power, and he's had a brilliant tournament as well. And Kevin Stout has been Mr. Reliable at the other end. Has just been able to hold up one end, make things very difficult for opposition. Put down! A huge wicket it would have been of Kevin Wickham, and it's been dropped.
And the woes of keeper Demario Richards continue. It's very, very deep, almost to that 30-yard circle, but that is his biggest weakness. That's why he keeps so deep. He does not like to use that reverse cup. There we see it on the monitor. Thick outside edge. We heard it through the monitors. Relatively easy offering. The Guardian fielders, they're not pleased with him, and his woes continue. But nevertheless, a very sharp delivery from Mikhail Powell. Should be an interesting battle, but you can't afford to drop Kevin Wickham. Certainly not in the form he's been in the entire year, actually. And Nikhil, we've seen him score runs in every single tournament. And that will rub salt into the wounds. First boundary for Stout now, and a big over. What could have been a wicket turns into 10 from the first 6 deliveries, and the Settlers are underway. Lovely thing about this game of cricket, you say salt in the wounds. I said that's fair game. That's how cricket plays. You let an easy chance go by. A real half tracker there outside of the off stump. Kevin Stout obliges. That was beautifully timed. And on the monitor again, look at that full flourish of the bat off the back foot on his toes as well. That sped away on what we know is usually a very, very slow field. So that just goes to show the timing of Kevin Stout. He looks up for the fight, and as you rightly said, he usually looks to carry his bat. He carries the innings as deep as possible. Kevin Wickham with that let off, if he can get going as well, the Settlers will be well on their way, and they're certainly on their way. 10 without loss.
This is going to be a mouth-watering matchup between these two teams because both of them have been very strong. I wonder though how big of a loss that Jerry McAllister will be. A man that's been so dangerous with his extra pace. And unfortunately, having to sit an exam today, so he's unavailable for the action. And that will be a big loss for them. And this time, Wickham, he's just been too good in this tournament. So hard to stop. First delivery from Williams, maximum.
How many times have we seen that? We've seen that in the last over. We've seen that yesterday. We've seen that in previous games. We've seen it here again. Kevin Wickham alongside the ball, left foot just to the side of deliveries. He's able to get his hands straight to the ball over that long off position. Question for you though, Nikhil. I know there are only 2 fielders out with these restrictions, but we've seen Kevin Wickham play that shot so many times. Why is there not a long off in place instead of possibly that long on? Because he loves to access that region. He's very, very fluent there.
Yeah, especially with the length that Williams will bowl. Be very full, and naturally you expect the left arm spinner to spin the ball away, even though he's not a big spinner of the ball in this tournament, Williams. Usually you see a lot of left arm spinners beginning in the power play with 2 out, 1 being a long off, but he's opted to keep mid off in the circle even after that maximum, and he has a long on in place as well as a deep mid wicket, so has to be very straight. Rashawn Williams. Straight to cover this time, and what we've seen though is that they can be slow starters even though they got 10 from the first over. Think about it, yesterday they got 5 from the first and then 54 runs from the next 4 overs. So that tells 3 overs, correction. So that tells you just how dominant these two can be for the Settlers. Up and over, and he just looks like he's able to manipulate the field no matter what. Kevin Wickham, this has been a masterful move sending him up the order.
Yeah, not only that, Nikhil, again, we can't stress enough that he looks to access the offside. He goes leg side to the ball, allows his levers to come through. Another interesting thing about this field, there's a long on deep mid wicket. They're asking him, or they would like to ask him to hit to the longer side. We're way away to the west today, the most westerly surface. So that boundary over to the west today is just about 55 to 60 meters. Kevin Wickham would eat that all day for breakfast, and it is morning time. I have to tell you, not good stuff from the Guardians.
Well, he's going to be a wicket that they want. And remember, they just put him down in that first over. So that could be a big miss for this Guardians team. Already short-handed. And he plays that wet shot so well. He's such a good player against spin, Kevin Wickham. And on a surface that may be a bit challenging up front, he's the man you want in the middle.
So let's walk the viewers through that run of play. Rashawn Williams opting to come the other side of the wicket to create that angle to force Kevin Wickham to go to the leg side where the 2 defensive fielders are. Kevin Wickham says, I understand what you're trying to do. I will still access that offside. Reverse sweep. What more can you ask from this young man? Through the vacant cover point region, 4 more runs. This is turning out to be a wonderful over for the Settlers.
This time through that offside again. It's the entire over. All the boundaries have been in the offside, and it's just been too easy. Big start again for the Settlers, 28 without loss.
This is very, very good to see though, Nikhil. Yes, we could argue that the tactics of the Guardians is probably a bit suspect, but you still have to have a player that's able to execute to make those tactics look suspect. The Guardians really wanted Kevin Wickham to be hitting the ball to the leg side, but this guy is just too good. He's giving himself some room, leaving his stumps open. We saw some shots now over the top coming forward. We saw some shots over the top playing back, and we also saw some innovation with that reverse sweep. What more can you want? 28 without loss. After 2, the Settlers are here to play.
Let's talk a bit about the decision. Jomel Warrican winning the toss and on a deck which you're not sure about. It's a fresh surface. We played on pitch number 1 yesterday, the furthest to the left. It definitely had a bit of moisture. I put my nail in it, it went straight down. We had the rain, the sweating. However, wet outfield, it doesn't matter. He's backed his team and this strategy that they've gone about the tournament with. Able to post big totals early on and put teams under immense pressure.
And we did say that for us, the Settlers has the most balanced bowling attack, so Warren will feel that he can defend whatever he posts. And what it does is allow him to have a very longer look at the game. His batting order as well. Kadeem Ali is still in there lurking. He can utilize him when he wants to, but these two, he's been backing these two. Remember, they all play for the same club as well. He knows these guys well.
He takes it on. This young man, Kevin Wickham, is one to keep your eye on. He is having a scintillating tournament. And he now moves to 27 from 11, his identical score he made yesterday.
But again, I'm asking the question, Nikhil, as that delivery just dropped one bounce in the long off region. How many boundaries has Kevin Wickham struck through the offside in this tournament, particularly in the power play? There he is again, over long off. He's prodigious in that area. It makes no sense not defending that long off region. Easy stuff for Kevin Wickham.
This time though opens up the onside. This is an exhibition we are witnessing at the 3Ws Oval, and the Settlers, who have won the toss, all of a sudden that decision looks brilliant. They're going at almost 15 runs per over.
My goodness gracious me, Kevin Wickham is in full control. There he was now coming into his wicket, accessing the leg side this time. A short delivery from Pius Emilian. Easy stuff, away to that 60-meter boundary. 4 more runs. The pressure is really and truly on. 37 runs from just 2.3 overs. Settlers going along really, really nicely.
If you're now joining us, this is a game that you don't want to miss, because the way that this has begun, even with the prowess we know, the deep batting lineup that the Guardians possess, if they get to 150 in a final, that will take some getting. Remember, they put on 137 yesterday and struggled in the back end of the innings. This will be more runs. Don't think he'll get to the boundary, but another 2. And he just makes it look so simple, Wickham. People don't remember, but this young man is 19 years old.
First time we saw him, the very first time we saw him at 15 years of age, he actually scored 100 against us. Same attack, Jomel Warkan et al. Basically a first-class Barbados team, and he scored 100 at 15 years old. Certainly signaled to us very early that he was one to watch. We had to have him. He's at Empire Club now as well. He's doing really, really well. He's showing his prowess, and hopefully this young man can continue well into the future.
Looking to play that reverse sweep. One of the few players in this tournament that have consistently been able to play that reverse sweep. Big over coming for the Settlers. End of 3 overs, 39 for none.
Yeah, have to say, Settlers, they are in charge so far. Power play, there's 1 more over left. There are 39 runs, possibly looking to get up to 45 or 15. As we said, Nikhil, if you can get north of 45 runs in the power play, you're certainly in business in terms of setting a total, and that's what's happening so far. The Guardians, they will have to strike back. Remember, there's no Jai McAllister, possibly just hampering the plans of Captain Corbin, so to speak. So they have a lot of work to do. As we see the introduction now of, it looks like Bishop. Romario Graves. A very interesting proposition here. Remember, he's not the most defensive bowler as well.
But they do have Jamali Lynch, who can bowl those cutters into the pitch. It has that bit of moisture, so the ball may grip, but they've opted not to bowl him as yet. Interestingly though, they had Jared Leacock, who was recovered from an illness. The leg spin option started the tournament really well for them, but have opted not to go with him. They've gone with Demel Evelyn for an extra batting option. So interesting changes coming from the Guardians. But I think based on this start, they could be staring on the barrel of a 130, 140, and even 150 with Kadeem Ali and others to come.
Very interesting times, very interesting times. If I were a betting man, I would say that based on how the Settlers have played on this start, they will get over 100 for sure.
I think you summed it up perfectly though yesterday, Jamal. It's been fantastic to see the way that teams have transitioned throughout the tournament, starting at scores of 60 and 70. And mind you, the surfaces have got better as well, but much more consistent scores of 120, 130, and we're even seeing them being chased down.
Yeah, and assessing the conditions. And it was a slow start, obviously. This Dream 11 BIM 10 new to Barbados shores. The guys are now showing what they can do.
Oh, Kevin Stout. Kevin Stout. With all of his experience, he's watched from the other end, but he decides it's his turn.
Majestic from Kevin Stout. We had a very, very good view of that, didn't we? And Nikhil, we were right behind the Kevin Stout at this end. Saw that delivery just piercing that offside gap. Beautiful flowing drive for 4.
What a partnership this has been. On the leg side, but yeah, wide signaled.
What a partnership it has been all tournament.
And the thing is, they started the first couple of games opening with Thalbert Brathwaite and Kevin Stout, but we were just making the point. Kevin Wickham and Aline weren't facing enough deliveries. In a T10 game, you want your best batters batting in these first 4 overs because it can make a huge difference. This has been a good over though. Just the 1 boundary conceded, 9 runs, but it's the 2 wides that's been the problem.
Still 2, still 3 deliveries. Still lots of time to get 2 more boundaries. And Nikhil, Mario Graves is not the most defensive bowler. Wickham will be eyeing him up. Bowled.
And if you look at the run scoring chart, they've got 3 players in the top 5, and that has been probably the remedy for their success. Wickham, Stout, and Kareem Ali, all in the top 5 run scorers of the tournament.
Yeah.
It goes high, but he's got enough on it. And Kevin Wickham, when you call his name, he will find the boundary. Couple of bounces for 4, and the Guardians are under immense pressure.
His intent is very, very clear. He didn't middle that by any means. The intention was to get behind square. I don't think he went to go as far behind as he did, but it was a nice free-flowing backswing once again, and that is the hallmark of his play, that nice free-flowing backswing. 6 more runs. Remember, I told you, Nikhil, 2 more boundaries are still possible in this over. That's 1.
Well, the last time these 2 teams met, Jamal, the Settlers posted 150 for 2 in the 10 overs, and that's when Kareem Ali went berserk, 67 from 22 on that day. So they'll have that at the back of their minds. But of course, a final new game, new opportunity. End of 4 overs, 52 for none, and we're seeing this become a lot more, I want to say, common. 50 in the power play, which is an excellent score. Going at 13 runs and over.
It means that the teams are improving. We just spoke about that, but we also know that these 2 teams have been the better exponents in this Dream 11 BIM T10 simply because they have adjusted, they've made good plans, particularly Captain Warkan. He's not set a foot wrong so far. And he get everything that he touches seems to go to goal. All the combinations that he tries, especially this opening pair in the latter stages of the tournament, has reaped dividends. So you have to say the 2 best teams are on show. The Guardians, they do have the potential to either pull it back or chase down a significant score. So, you know, as you say, it's a mouth-watering affair.
And this time, though, the Guardians strike. That was the wicket they would look for. Pius Emilian. His first over went for 11 runs, but he was backed by Kyle Corbin and gets a big wicket of Kevin Stout, who's been a very consistent run scorer for the Settlers side. Yeah,
change of angle as well. Kevin Stout probably looking to get that one somewhere in the deep mid-wicket region. It was almost against the run of play. It seemed so anticlimactic. There was no real celebration. The Guardians, that tells me that they are under a bit of pressure. It's almost like they didn't expect to take a wicket, but nevertheless, they have gotten a wicket. Pius Emilian gets a wicket. Nicholas Curtin, he comes to the crease, and this is a wonderful platform for a player of his aptitude to get going. Let's not forget there's Kareem Ali in the hut as well. So certainly in terms of theoretically, in terms of the setup right now, the Settlers are already happy of the 2 sides. Can the Guardians claw this back?
Well, that would be a wicket that would help. I'm surprised you haven't seen Jamali Lynch though, with his cutters into the pitch. Someone that has been effective in the last couple of games. Bowled a 1 over for just 7 runs yesterday. So they've still kept him back. Probably will bowl in the latter phase of the innings. And Emilian, who's now got 1, and Rashawn Williams are going to be crucial with the ball for this team. Williams still has one more over after this. Emilian bowling his second. So that was the wicket they would look for. But Nicholas Curtin, he can strike it a long way as well. Off the mark straight away. And yesterday when they got to that 137, they had 250 run partnerships. Every one of the top 4 was able to chip in with at least 25.
And they would be certainly looking to uphold that theme today, Nikhil, and it started in that direction. We see how Curtin goes. We see how Kevin Wickham goes about his business as we head through the middle period of this 10 overs, if I dare say that. Is there a middle period in 10 overs?
Picks that one up. That's the biggest of the lot. This young man, Kevin Wickham, is putting on a show in the final.
One bounce into the Sherlock Hall. That boundary traveling, that maximum rather, traveling at least 80 meters there. Beautiful stroke by Wickham. Again, hallmark of his play. He's in upset position and his hands are free to flow. This is the hallmark of his play. He makes it look so easy, Nikhil, but I'll tell you, it is not as easy as that. Look at those levers again. Accessing the ball in front of his body, head over the ball, 6 more runs. And this is the type of player that you want in your team. This guy can hit them almost 360 anywhere around the ground. He's shown his innovation as well. That delivery is still not back with us.
It tells you though about Kevin Wickham, because he's the type of player that will show up on a big day. 43 from 19 in the final. Challenging surface, but he's been very selective of the deliveries he's went after. And once he's committed, he's easily cleared the boundary. And because we're on pitch number 6, a much smaller side, the leg side for him, and he's attacked it well based from both ends really. So this has been an excellent start, and that's all they really need. You look at the power of a Kadeem Aline to come. You have a Thalbert Brathwaite. There's a lot of batting still for the Settlers side. And teams would have looked at them and said, well, Jamal, if they're able to make early inroads from the top order, they can really expose that lengthy tail. But the problem is they haven't been able to dismiss the top 4.
That is the problem, and credit to the Settlers.
Hasn't got this one though, and it could be a second. Lynch under it, takes it this time. So after putting him down early, they finally got that wicket. It's a second in the over, but a dream innings from Kevin Wickham comes to an end. 45 from just 21, 61 for 2.
Yeah, Wickham has done his job, and he was looking to accelerate, and there he was obviously holding out to deep the wicket, but he has played so well. Who can fault him for looking for another maximum? Very good catch there in the end from Jamali Lynch. Nice and settled. As you said, he's not been introduced into the attack yet. We'll see what Captain Kyle Corbin's plans is there for him. As we see it on the monitor, you see the difference in that shot as opposed to the 6. His hands were just a bit closer to him. He made contact with that delivery just about the body as opposed to just in front of him, and that makes it different. It allows the ball to bounce just that little bit more, and it hit high up on the bat, and he got more elevation than distance. But nevertheless, well played from the young man. The Settlers still in a good position as Kadeem Aline saunters out to the crease now.
And you might say this is the optimum time for Kadeem Aline to come to the middle, because yesterday he really put on a show. 39 from 16. This is why he's here though. And you see there the line very different as well. Pushed the one a lot wider and forced Wickham, who likes to sweep, to take it from outside the off stump, and it was always going to be tougher to clear that leg side boundary. But yesterday Kadeem Aline came in the 6th over, and he's put on 39 from just 16 deliveries. He has got immense ability. And he goes straight away through cover and picks up a boundary to get off the mark. Again, those long levers working, but nonetheless, a good over for the Guardians because they get the 2 wickets, but still 13 runs from it. 65 now for 2.
That ability immediately on show, accessing the offside from the word go, and that is the type of player Kadeem Aline is, and he's very much suited to this format. He's known in the past to play some injudicious strokes in the longer formats, but this T10, it suits him quite nicely, and there he was again. Lovely flowing shot. Yes, there were 2 wickets, Nikhil, but the pressure continues to build on the Guardians. The Settlers are not retreating. That run rate now of 13 with that projected score of just around 130 It tells you that this will be a competitive total in this final. I'm sure there'll be another bowling change. Now, it looks like your guy, Jamali Lynch, and Jamali Lynch has done a reasonable job for the Guardians so far.
Well, 5 options used for the Guardians. They've been very expensive. It's going to be Lynch for the first time. And you're seeing how big of a void Jair McAllister's left in this bowling effort, because he has been the go-to option with the ball for this Guardians team. They really miss him with his extra pace. Caused serious problems. He picked up 8 wickets, but at an economy of less than 6 runs per over. Here's Lynch. Goes full. But he doesn't have enough. And is this a change in the tide and the momentum in this game? Well taken by Demel Evelyn at that long on position. And Nicholas Curtin, who had watched from the other end for a while, is dismissed. Straight away making an impact, Lynch.
Well, you called it, didn't you? Because that's where Jamali Lynch was, and immediately he struck Curtin, looking to keep the impetus going. Didn't get going on this occasion. Such is the nature of the game. Have to keep scoring, looking to set a formidable total are the Settlers. But the Guardians know, with just a ray of sunshine, they've gotten 3 wickets, 3 very adept batsmen, 3 very, very good batsmen, 3 destructive batters. There is still Kadeem Ali at the crease, but the point is now they're into that middle order. Can they pull it back? Can they restrict them to something that they will feel that they can get? The new batsman at the crease now is Brathwaite, who's not had the greatest of tournaments. So the Guardians in with a chance here to just get back into this game, probably getting at least 2 quiet overs or so, and get that projected score down to something closer to 100.
Well, you know it's coming from Jamali Lynch. He bowls almost every delivery with pace off, but still so hard to hit. Those straight boundaries are big at the 3Ws Oval. And a good catch as well by Demel Evelyn, because it could have easily been put down and it would have been the second drop, but made no mistake. And it brings Brathwaite now, and they'll be thinking if they can pick up 1 more wicket, they expose a pretty lengthy tail from this Settlers side. I wonder how that changes the way that Kadeem Ali plays. Good running though, comes back for 2.
Kadeem Ali will always play with intent. Brathwaite, he actually has a very important role here, and I'm sure the think tank of the Settlers would have mentioned it to him. He doesn't need to go too hard. He just needs to support Kadeem Ali. The rate is already up. Once he keeps his wicket and keeps rotating, as evidenced by that delivery there, getting 2 runs or so, they were still in with a very, very good shot. Because, to be fair to Talbot Brathwaite, he has a bit of quality about him as well when he gets going. But certainly, there's just this little period here, this next block of 12 deliveries, where he can afford to just knock it around, pick up his 1s and 2s, and obviously score off a bad delivery. But he doesn't have to go outside himself, not just yet. Allow himself to see what Kadeem Ali will do.
They still do have a Shakir Marshall, who's played some match-winning innings for them, especially when chasing totals, and Teron Gibson, the keeper, who's opened the batting as well. But I tell you about Brathwaite, got 1 innings of 36 not out from 30. He's gone past 100 runs in the tournament, but he's only struck at 117, which is probably on the lower side in terms of other batters in the tournament.
You're correct, but in the context of this game, that strike rate works. If he hangs around for the next 3 or 4 overs and Kadeem Ali gets going, that 130 plus is still very much on the money.
Has a similar feel though to yesterday's first semi-final, where it was almost like a wrestling match in terms of momentum. The Guardians taking on the Pelicans, and every time you thought the game was just favoring one team, the other team just fought their way back in it, clawed their way back. So Jamali Lynch was instrumental in that, in terms of with his good 7-run over in the end, helped their cause a lot and allowed them to chase that total. Over the infield, his heart would have been in his hand for a second, Kadeem Ali, but safe. Sure, he'll want to face the majority of these. Now 26 deliveries to go in the innings.
Yeah, and if you look at it, from the perspective of boundary striking. Let's just say, for argument's sake, that Settlers can get at least 5 more boundaries in this innings. That puts them somewhere in the region of 30 plus more runs in boundaries. Based on what they have already, 71, you can see that they should score in excess of 100. So really the cards are being held right now by the Settlers. How they play them is another story. Guardians will have to keep them at bay just a little longer.
Over though from Lynch, and when he's been brought into the team very late in the tournament, been excellent with his changes of pace, and you expect that the bowlers that can take pace off the ball consistently will be more effective on pitches that have been used. And this now being the 33rd match of the BIM 10, only used 2 surfaces, so it tells you why he's been effective. Big swing and a miss, and all of a sudden they've taken 3 wickets in 2 overs, and things have slowed down drastically. The rate has come down to 12 and over. Still well poised though, the Settlers, 72 for 3.
Yeah, correct. In your assessment there, Nikhil. Very good over again from Jamali Lynch. He's really been a wonderful addition for the Settlers. For the Guardians, I don't know if you have his stats so far in this tournament, but he's been a wonderful addition. He wasn't a starter, but he's really come in, his change of paces, and as you said, he uses pace off more so, but he does have a sharp delivery as well, so he's not that easy to set yourself to. Evidence again in that pretty good over, particularly in the context of this game. Bowled really, really well, just getting the Guardians in a position where they can try to claw their way back. We'll see how this over goes.
It's going to be Sean Williams bowling a crucial over, crucial 7th over, because in the last 2 they have only conceded 13 runs in the 5th and then 7. Put down. And again, we saw Kevin Wickham going down on 4 in the 1st over. He went on to make 45. And now Kadeem Aline, not a man you want to drop. Kyle Corbin, the captain, it is.
Hit hard. Hit just away from Kyle Corbin. A player of his caliber, you expect him to take that still, and he's admonishing himself. He knows that he's good enough to take that, and he knows what Kadeem Aline can do if he's given a life. Wait and see how much that one costs.
There was a much harder chance though from the first catch they put down. Good comeback though from Rashawn Williams. Good delivery lead. These last now 8 deliveries. He conceded the 8 runs and they've picked up 2 wickets. This has been a brilliant comeback from the Guardians. Well led by Kyle Corbin. You don't mind that at this stage. I think that will be what Bradford will try to do. Mainly get Kadeem Aline on strike. But if they can keep them to less than 10 runs and over, surely they won't get to that 120 that at one stage they looked set for.
Aline is looking for 2 boundaries in this over, Nikhil. This is the over. This will set the tone of the game. Will he give it away, or will he be able to find the boundaries?
It's gone really high, but not far enough. Corbin under it. This time redeems himself. Huge wicket. And look at what it means to the Guardians.
I swear to you, I am not a genie. I do not have a crystal ball. You could just sense it. Based on how the cricket is playing, Kadeem Aline taking up that role, looking to take up that role as the aggressor, and I knew he was looking for at least 2 boundaries in this over. He was gifted a life, but he tried for all he was worth just now to get through his hands through that delivery over that long off region. You have to give credit to the bowler here, Rashawn Williams, not bowling those slot deliveries that Kadeem Aline appreciates and likes, so that he can hit the ball through the line for 6 and just back in that length there. The pitch probably just playing a bit there, just holding the ball up a bit, little more bounce. Kyle Corbin taking a very good running catch away to his right, and I tell you what, Nikhil, it shows the experience of Kyle Corbin as well. He could easily have had his head in the sand, but this is what this level of cricket is all about. You get up the next ball, you execute your skill again, and he executed it brilliantly. Led from the front as the captain, well bowled with Sean Williams, and all of a sudden we have a game on our hands.
After 4 overs, they were 52 for none, this Settlers side. But since that 4th over, it's just been 22 runs and they've lost 4 wickets. And this has been something we have not seen from this Settlers team all tournament. The top order has been the reliable option for them from the onset. But now you ask Teron Gibson, he's a young man, he's only batted a couple times in the tournament for the Settlers, just 4 innings, 40 runs. And Thalbert Brathwaite, who's more experienced, to get them through these last 3.2 overs and look for a big total. This will be runs though, and it won't matter how they come at this stage, they'll take every one. Kyle Corbin though will be very happy with the way his team has gone about things, and he doesn't show much emotion, Kyle Corbin, but when he took that catch, you saw the celebration. Tells you about how important that wicket of Kadeem Ali, because he already tortured this Guardians bowling lineup in the tournament when they got to 150.
Yeah, you're correct. And as I said, you know, Corbin, a man of his stature, would have been ruined at that drop chance as well.
There is a fielder. Lynch does extremely well. He misjudged it badly, but falling away, sticks up a hand. Damani Lynch, he's done nothing wrong today. 2 wickets to his name, and then excellent piece of fielding. What an over though for the Guardians. Wicket and just the 5 runs.
Athleticism there at his best. Jamali Lynch, that was excellent work. He slipped, he was falling away, as you said, he was basically on his butt, and look, he was still able to propel himself, keep his hand up, good awareness. This is a good cricketer. This is a good cricketer. When you see these little things, Nikhil, you know that this is a guy that has cricket in him. This is a guy that you can depend on. He understands his stuff, but more so, he's very, very aware. So you're perfectly correct. The last block of 18 deliveries have really been fruitful for the Guardians, certainly in terms of wicket taking, and obviously with that wicket taking, there has been a decrease in the scoring rate. So we really have a game on our hands here, and this has been a trend. And to be fair, this is what you want to see from the 2 better teams in this tournament. It's ebbing and flowing. We can't call this one anymore. All of a sudden, that projected score is down to 111.
Interesting move from Kyle Corbin. New bowler into the attack. Demel Evelyn. Now, this can be a big risk. Starts with a full toss. Gets away with it. Evelyn, and he was brought in this game, Evelyn, a young man, 21 years old, 22 correction, mainly for his batting exploits, but can bowl a bit of medium pace. He would have been looking at it, Corbin. Mikhail Power has 1 and Lynch has 1, but he had to make up 1 over.
He had to make up, and this is a good calculated risk. 2 new batters at the crease, not 2 guys that will hurt you in terms of boundary striking. You're probably looking to close out this over for 10 or less.
Another full toss. But this time wide of long off. So the experiment hasn't worked so far for Corbin. 5 from the first 2.
Yeah, on a knife's edge is this one. If Thalbert Brathwaite is able to reel off 2, even 3 boundaries in this innings, in this over, all of a sudden that calculation by Kyle Corbin becomes almost a miscalculation, and the Settlers will have a bit more rhythm. But having said that, this is the right move from Corbin in terms of theory. You had to get in that over.
And this time finds its length. And because of that quick start where they got to past 50 in the first 4, you saw it yesterday as well, they only scored at 10 runs and over in the last 3, but they were able to still post 130 plus because of that mama start. However, they don't have the personnel that are big boundary strikers. They've lost Aline, Curtin, Wickham and Stout, who have been the 4 go-to members for them. Good change of pace, excellent change of pace from the youngster, and had Richards hit there, he would have been gone.
The curious case of the Mario Richards, he missed there. We had a conversation this morning actually about the glove on, glove off. Actually woke me up because it was the first message I got this morning. You know, he was asking about what I think. I told him I think you just need to keep doing what you're doing. It's the finals, you don't change anything.
This has been a brilliant comeback from Evelyn. First 2 deliveries were full tosses. Now has been able to take pace off the ball. Hasn't bowled in this tournament, Demel Evelyn, but now to come in at this stage in a final and only go for 7 runs in his first 5 deliveries, that's been excellent from the young man.
Critical ball coming out here, Nikhil. If you're a Thalbert Brathwaite, you're looking for a boundary, you know that this is the lesser of the bowlers. You see in the monitor that's down the leg side. You're looking for a boundary, you go after that boundary, but if a Thalbert Brathwaite falls here, no, all of a sudden the Guardians are even firmer in the ascendancy.
Excellent from Evelyn. They're going to come back for 2, but I don't think they mind it because it's less than 10 in the over, just 9 from it. And Kyle Corbin will be very happy with Evelyn, who they've brought into the team today in place of McAllister. End of 8 overs, 87 for 4. How many do they need, you think, the Settlers to feel comfortable going into the break?
Well, particularly after the start they had, anything less than 115, they'll be thinking that they messed up a bit. Kyle Corbin, on the other hand, and the Guardians will be saying to themselves that after that start, to be able to claw their way back to 110 or less in terms of a target, they have done really, really well. And that is the reason for that calculation, slipping in Evening there as he did. And he did budget for possibly 10 or less. He got 10 or less, he got 9. Now he has his 2 most experienced seamers who've done relatively well in this tournament to come back and finish. Kyle Corbin probably has a budget of about 20 runs here into these 2 last overs. The question is, does Talbot Braffett have enough rhythm? We know he has a bit of quality about him. Does he have enough rhythm to find 2 maximums just to offset the plans and get that total north of 110? Something that you would see would be more than a competitive total, would take some good batting from the Guardians. So it's 50-50. It's on a nice edge. It's been ebbing and flowing, and quite frankly, this is what we want to see from a final.
The last 2 overs, they've only scored 22 runs. So that has been a huge decrease in terms of the rate. Powell, and it'll just be a single. This has been really good ever since that Pius Emilian over. First one for 11. Corbin still backed him. He got not only the wicket of Stout but picked up Kevin Wickham. They've just continued to take wickets. They had a spell of 4 wickets in just 3 overs. This has been excellent from the Guardians, but this game is nowhere close to over, because if they can get to 110, the Settlers have got an excellent bowling lineup and they're athletic in the field. In position, and as well though, Shakir Paris keeps it to just 2.
So Nikhil, this is the matchup of this final block. Well, it was 12 and now 10. Talbot Braffett versus Mikhail Powell. From a Settlers point of view, Braffett versus Powell possibly is the best option in terms of boundaries for them. And if Mikhail Powell can get Braffett here now, certainly that projected total, what we think they will be able to get, will decrease even less. So this is the matchup of this final block.
So a delivery goes straight up and should be taken, and is. The wickets are tumbling for the Settlers, and the Guardians are in firm control of this game.
As I said, it could go one way or the other, and it went the way of the Guardians. Mikhail Powell, lovely pace off delivery. That's what he's been brought back to do. Show his skill set, expertly done. Braffett on that occasion being out Fox, length all the way back, was probably looking for a pace on delivery. Found Kyle Corbin again. So all of a sudden the Guardians have clawed their way back into this game, as you see it on the monitor. Yes, he almost wound up like one of those toys someone would buy their kids for Christmas, and he has to go. So as I said, that little matchup there for me determines what that end target will be. I'm prepared to say that the Settlers possibly will not get in excess of 120 from here. Obviously it's still cricket to be seen, but credit to Mikhail Powell, he comes out of that battle the victor.
Well, what was impressive to see in this over from Powell, all 3 deliveries have been very wide, and he's forced the right-handers to hit into the much bigger side. Just 3 runs and the wicket from the first 2 deliveries, but now has to go to the left-handed Zidane Clark, who can strike it. Interestingly, we haven't seen Shakir Marshall, who has hit a couple maximums and won a few games for the Settlers with the bat in hand. Pace off again. They have not conceded a boundary now in 8 deliveries, the Guardians, and in T10 cricket, when you just have 60, that could be the difference between a win or a loss.
Nikhil, remember we were keeping our eye on the amount of maximums being struck by teams from yesterday. It'll be very interesting to see how many maximums have been struck.
Just 2.
In this innings.
Just 2 from Kevin Wickham.
Interesting stuff.
And when you have Curtin, Allen, Stout, and Wickham, and you keep them to just 2 maximums, your bowling lineup is doing something right. Will be another one. Will be another one. And they've just found a way to take wickets at regular intervals, this Guardians team. And now, 91 for 6. The Settlers, for the first time in the tournament, are under immense pressure.
Well, credit again to the Guardians. As we said, Captain Cole Corbin slipping in that over from evening to allow himself to finish with Powell in particular. Powell has done really, really well in this over. Slower delivery again, pace off. Teron Gibson probably overdoing that intended shot. He probably was looking to strike that delivery somewhere over the square leg region, but the slower delivery outfoxed him. And we see the captain, Joe Melwar, can't come into the crease. Yes, he can strike a boundary or two, but what the Guardians have been able to do is essentially remove the cream of the crop. And this is the reason why we're seeing the Settlers innings trending negatively now, certainly on the scale. You have to say, Nikhil, this is a wonderful fight back from the Guardians. The question is, who will have the momentum at the end of these 7 deliveries?
It's Jamel Warwick and the captain, and look at where he's batting, outside the off stump, looking to hit that smaller side, but Powell goes wide Yorker. I think he'll be disappointed with that, Mikhail Powell, because Warwick is far outside of his stumps, probably was a bit too wide on that occasion, and still no Shaki Marshall with just 7 deliveries to go in this innings. And after the power play, many would have thought, you think about the last 6 overs, at least 60 runs. They've got nowhere close to that. They were 52 for none after 4. And everyone thought, well, here we go again for the Settlers. But Kyle Corbin has backed his bowlers, especially spin options that have been expensive. Million has changed this game, and since, they haven't looked back, the Guardians. Well, that will be runs though for the captain, and nothing that Powell or the keeper could do about it. A good way to end the over, but what an over from Mikhail Powell. Just the 9 runs from it, and he picked up 2 wickets. 1 over to go in this first innings of the grand finale, 96 for 6.
Yeah, this final block of 6 deliveries now will be very interesting in terms of momentum. For me, Nikhil, it's not about the target set right now. We are in that region of a competitive total, 96 for 6 after 9, particularly in these university conditions. The question is, who will be the happier of the 2 teams in terms of momentum? If 2 or 3 boundaries are struck in this final over, this final block of 6, all of a sudden the Settlers believe again. Likewise, or conversely, if the Guardians are able to pick up another wicket or 2 and restrict them to possibly less than 10 and over, you will think that the Guardians will be the happier of the 2 sides. Or we'll see what will happen here in this Jamali Lynch over. But based on what we've seen from Jamali Lynch, we expect him to do relatively well in this over. Very, very interesting to see how these final 6 go.
Well, in those 30 group stage matches, these were the 2 teams that emerged as the top 2. The Settlers finished first, the Guardians finished second. They did their job in the semi-finals, and now they're here fighting for the championship. Lynch again goes pace off. Richards has struggled to hit the stumps, but I think thought they may have got him, but in the end, Zidane Clark gets home.
Yeah, that must be out, isn't it? Remember, we had one like this yesterday. Called it out. What do you call that one?
Hard to tell because it's at the other end.
Call it out. I don't know if we have a chance to see on the monitor, but you know.
Nonetheless, though, excellent option from Jamali Lynch. And
you tell me, Nikhil.
Hard to say, especially for the umpire who has
very,
made
very
the decision
difficult
in real time. But
it's very, very difficult.
The biggest takeaway from that delivery is Lynch, and those pace off, the cutters, you know they're coming, but still finds it very hard to hit. But the captain wanted to strike, so they need at least a boundary in this over. 5 deliveries to go. Can they get to 110? There is a long on. Just a carry. Look for 2. Get them easily. They will think though that this Guardians team, they would have watched that game yesterday, semi-final 1. They were 90 for 6 at one stage. They have had their woes with the bat in hand as well at times. So you never know if you take early wickets. I think we've both decided that this Settlers team have got the best bowling lineup in the tournament. So if they use their spinners to get early wickets, this game could be well and truly on. This time, pace on. First time that he's bowled pace on. Jamali Lynch in now 9 deliveries, and it's a crucial dot.
Another dot, another dot. Just one away from that 100, as you said. who will the momentum favor coming out of these final deliveries? Just 3 left. Jamal Warkan obviously looking for a boundary. Jamali Lynch looking to close it out. But we can say that this is a competitive total. Not match winning by any means, but we have a game on our hands.
The 100 comes up with a couple of buys, but the main thing is that they haven't conceded a boundary in the over. The Guardians, still 2 deliveries to go.
Yes, so far so good for the Guardians. Again, a boundary in this over could still add to that momentum. We are in that competitive region now. Jamal Warkan possibly trying to overhit deliveries though. Jamali Lynch is not really putting much pace on the ball. Probably better served just to get some bat on ball and collect as many as he can.
He's got 5 out. Deep cover, long off, long on, and then 2 square on the onside. Picks that one up, Warwican. But picks out Williams, who doesn't drop too many. What a turnaround this has been for the Guardians, led by this man, Jamali Lynch. Pace off, hard to hit. This could be a match-winning spell of bowling in these last 5 overs.
Yeah, good captaincy as well from Kyle Corbin. That man at deep wicket, he's almost in what we like to call that cow corner position. Almost a whitish long on, you have to say. Very good catch as well, but good field placement by Captain Kyle Corbin. He understands what's going on. He has 3 men in the deep protecting that shorter boundary. He knows Joe Melwarkan likes to go towards the leg side when he's boundary striking as well. So that's wonderful captaincy. Great execution from the young man Jamali Lynch, who continues to impress us, no doubt about that. And it's looking like the Guardians will have the momentum. But having said that, the Settlers do have 101 runs on the board, so there is a game at hand.
Alston Bob has come to the middle, left-hander. He'll be very important when they do get the ball in hand. Usually bowls that first over. Bob picked up 3 wickets in 1 game in that first over. But he's needed with the bat in hand. Should get 2 to end the innings. Every delivery, every run so important. And it will be 2. But what a comeback it's been from the Guardians. They started under serious pressure. They were 52 for none, the Settlers, after 4. But in the next 6 overs, just 51 runs conceded, thanks to Pius Emilian, who took 2, and that crucial wicket of Kevin Wickham. 45 from 21 at the top. It tells you how important of an innings that was. But other than that, no one else really able to put their hand up. Just 103 on the board. Certainly just par.
Yeah, just part of the context of what the Settlers have been offering in the final stages of this competition. Just par in the context that these conditions at the University of the West Indies, it is just enough. If they start well, it is just enough. Just par, because we know that the Guardians team, they have the capability to get up in excess of 100. They've done so at least on 4 occasions. They've done so emphatically, posting 160 as well, particularly when Captain Kyle Corbin bats well. We'll have a look at the scoreboard now.
The partnerships, and you see that just 1 big partnership from Wickham and Stout of 52. Other than that, no real partnerships able to be developed, and that's been something that the Settlers have done so well in the tournament. But it means in this grand finale, the Guardians are in an excellent position. They just need 104 to win the entire tournament, and we should have an exciting run chase on our hands when we return in a couple minutes time. Don't move a muscle. We'll be back shortly.
Unless, guys. I want you got me covered. You got me covered. So I don't matter then. You want to tell me about. You want to bring that too? My money too small for you, do. But I want you to when I got turn out my place Monday. That's a bit difficult. Martin's all right. Start no.
This is the place you want to be, the 3Ws Oval. Wherever you are in the world watching this live, welcome back. And what a matchup we have. The Guardians had to claw their way back into the game. They did that. And now, just need 104 runs to be the first ever champions of the Dream 11 BIM 10. It's 104 runs to win in the 10 overs. And a new opening pair as well. Shakir Paris, Alcin the Holder facing Alston Bob. Bob has had a knack for taking wickets in the very first over of the innings.
Yeah, very interesting stuff here, sending Alcin the Holder early. Clearly, some game plans in effect.
This time though, this will be runs. I don't think Warwick will be too upset with that, but Shakir Paris, when he's got going, he's been very hard to stop. Already has a half century in the tournament.
Silky from Paris. Got access of the ball there. Over that square leg position. Shakir Parsi's looked very good as well. We've spoken a lot about Kevin Wickham. Parsi's put in his dues well for the Guardians.
Maybe a man they want to stop, and the Guardians will be very cognizant of the fact that the Settlers got off to a flyer in the first power play, but then lost their way through the middle. They've got a deep batting lineup, still Corbin, Shane Mosley. Both have opened the batting at times in the tournament, but have opted to come in the middle period. If they can get off to a quick start though, just needing 10 runs and over, that asking rate significantly decreases.
Yeah, the keys for me, Nikhil, are these two and Captain Kyle Corbin. For me, those are the key to this innings.
I must say I'm surprised that Holder's asked to open the batting, because the way he batted yesterday with that 37, could argue match winning in the end. He was so vital when they lost early wickets, but they've opted to go with both of them early. Probably thinking about if they be a bit more aggressive, they can almost attack their way through this game and put the Settlers out of it by the end of the first 5 overs. And Paris will go. That is glorious. And just a highlight of how good he's been in the tournament. First maximum for him.
Majestic, wasn't it? Really? How many times have we seen this from Shakir Paris in that long off or extra cover region? Beautiful execution there, just lent into that one. Seeing it on the monitor, that's a quality cricket stroke. It was in the slot. We still have to have that ability to put it away. But as you said, Nikhil, utilizing your power early up top, you know, it reaps dividends. We see that most teams are able to claw their way back after the power play.
He's missed his length again. Poise, temperament and power from Shakir Paris ends with 2 maximums. identical strokes, and it's 18 from the first. The Guardians large and in charge.
Wow, that was better than the first. DK, what made that one a little better? It was not as wide. It was actually on the stumps. He had to make a slight adjustment. We see it on the monitor. He used his wrist, really his wrist position to get that way. Oh my God, look at that. Look at that. That is a picture over that long off region again. And once again, we ask the question on DK. We've seen Kevin Wickham exploit that area. We've seen that Shakir Paris, he exploits that area all as well. And yet the captains are very reluctant to use that man at long off, particularly for those two. And remember, these two guys would have represented the West Indies on the 19 team in the recently concluded on 19 World Cup. Two very, very good players in their right, showing the wares here for the world to see in this Dream 11 BIM 10 competition.
Had a really good start to the tournament. Paris got 20 in the first game, then 50 from 24 deliveries, but in the middle lost his way. Raymond Bino into the attack. He scored 14 total runs from 5 innings, which can be the nature of this 10 over format, but in the last 3 he's been excellent for them. 33, 16, and now 17 from 5. And we'll be sizing up Bino, ball spinning into him, hitting into the smaller side. But instead has to depart. And every time we see one team take control, the other one fights back.
Ebbs and flows. I know you did say that you were looking for a better spin to Shakir Paris, but this actually is a classic Raymond Bino wicket. He likes to use 3 men behind point. He bowls that hard length into the surface. He asks you to pierce the offside, particularly with a cut. And there was Shakir Paris in that no man's land because it was a very, very good length. And he could only succeed, obviously, in getting it to that man in that point region. I have to say credit to Raymond Bino, and this is his accustomed fashion, particularly to the right-handers. It'd be interesting to see if he will change the field to Kyle Corbin, because we know Kyle Corbin likes to come inside the wicket and go over that square leg region. But certainly, this is what Raymond Bino is very, very good at. This is what he's been selected for. You would have seen Raymond Bino in some competitions in Canada, I assume. Nikhil, how has his form been over the year?
Yeah, he's been a big wicket taker for a lot of teams in Canada where he plays his cricket on very conducive surfaces for spin. But it's going to be a big challenge now. I think even though Paris is dismissed, he's done his job. 17 from 6, sorry, giving them the impetus required to start this run chase. You want to get a big start, all of a sudden that asking rate is below 10. But the captain, this will be the wicket that they will look for, because he has the ability to take a game single-handedly away from you, Kyle Corbin. At the ground, he knows very well. He's played for a number of years.
This is the passenger player for me. Bino to both Alston, the holder, and Captain Corbin. Yeah.
Down on one knee. Just what you spoke about, Jamal Smith. Inside the line of the ball. It does well, Alston Bob. Keeps it to just 2.
Yeah, that is the shot that I was looking for from Kyle Corbin. He will come inside his wicket and go over that square leg region. I don't know if there'll be any adjustments. Jamal Warkamp will probably tell him, well, do that again, if you will. There's just a bit of a chance here for the Settlers. If they can prize up Kyle Corbin, all of a sudden, it will be held to skelter. Corbin needs to keep his wicket here as well.
Almost was an opportunity for Teron Gibson. And a few tight overs now just puts a bit more pressure back on the Guardians. Just 3 runs from this over and they've got the wicket. And Bino, like Nicholas Curtin, has been a late addition but a masterful one for this Settlers team.
Little field adjustment here, just a bit of bite play.
In the gap, and that will be runs. First boundary for Corbin, and he's underway. But an excellent over in the context. 7 runs from it and a wicket. 25 for 1.
The experience of the man, Nikhil, it showed in that stroke. Yes, it was a good stroke, but his run of play. Remember, I told you Raymond Bino would ask batters, the right-hand batters, to cut deliveries. Shakir Paris, he fell trying to cut with that 3-man trap behind point. But Kyle Corbin, aware of the situation, decided to bang that one way in front. It was a short-length delivery, and he learned his lesson from the previous delivery when he cut and he missed. And he was able to stand tall and pierce that offside gap just to the left of mid-off. And that is the kind of quality that Kyle Corbin possesses at this level. And that's why he's so pivotal to the formation of this game, the way this innings will shape. If the Settlers can get Kyle Corbin before this power play is over, they're in with a hell of a chance. Likewise, if the Guardians get out of this period and Kyle Corbin gets into rhythm, particularly if Alexander Holder is still accompanying him, then all of a sudden the Guardians will be in charge.
Kareem Aline, interesting move from Warwick. We haven't seen Aline use in the power play. Has mainly bowled at the back end of the innings. Yesterday he just bowled one over, the final over of the game. But it was expensive. And Nico Boucher took him apart. So now bowling the third over in the power play. I think maybe just want a bit more pace on to these two power hitters when they get going. Holden, Corbin. Picks him up, but there is that mid-on fielder. He won't get to it. Kevin Wickham it was, who's very athletic.
Interesting stuff. Alexander Holder, he does like to go down the ground, and the Sarahs will be aware of that. They're saying to him that you need to go down the ground if you're going to score. There is a deep backward square and a third man in play, suggestive Nikhil that Kadeem Aline will be bowling that hard left, those shorter deliveries. Alexander Holder seeing something that he could have possibly go over the top. 2 runs to his credit.
Similar shots, and again over the head. This time more promising, and this time 4.
Yeah, you have to say that's an error in execution there. The mid-on and the mid-off are up. We know Alexander Holder likes to go down the ground. Jomel Warcamp, based on the field he set, is asking Kadeem Aline to be hard into that surface with the occasional short delivery. He's been a bit too full on both occasions. Aline now telling Kevin Stoke to leave my field. Kevin Stoke possibly having that conversation saying, well, young man, if you want to pitch at the ball, you have to push back the long on. But Aline is saying, no, I will execute on this third delivery. So we have to wait and see Nikhil. But if he's executing, he has to be short. He has to be back of the left into the pitch. He has to be aggressive to Alexander Holder. He can ill afford to pitch deliveries in that volley and half volley area as he's done the previous delivery.
Goes short. Well stopped by Wickham in the end. Changes angle, Kadeem Aline as well. Came over the wicket.
So that was more in keeping with what Aline would have wanted to execute. He was short into the surface. Alexander Holder almost piercing that mid-on area, but credit to the fielder at the mid-on region. This is a very interesting passage to play in the K. Remember, if these two get past the power play and Guardians are 45 plus, all of a sudden the Guardians will have the momentum going in to the back end of the innings. Remember though, 100 is still a very competitive total on this surface in these conditions.
Inside edge, and that's painful for Aline, but luckily for him it doesn't go to the boundary. So just 2 runs, and not a bad over though for the Guardians. They've already got 9 from the first 4. They just need to be scoring in and around that 9-run per over mark. And if Corbin and Holden, this to stay there, they score a lot more than that. It's just the nature of the way that they play. Thinking about responsibility though, Kyle Corbin, no real need to go after the bowling and take too many risks. They're in a much better position.
Most certainly, Nikhil, most certainly. We're on the knife's edge here right now.
Well, forget that about taking risks. Corbin is looking to take it on, but this has been a good ploy from Jamal Warrican, looking for pace on the ball, and Aline knowing that he can get that bit of extra bounce. Makes it just a bit harder for Kyle Corbin. I've seen the main seam option be Gavin Mariah in the tournament, but he's mainly bowled the back end of the innings, bowling a lot of those Yorkers and slower balls into the pitch. Final delivery of the over. Can he close out well, Kadeem Aline? Hit powerfully, but crucially a no ball signal, and it's going to be a free hit coming up for Kyle Corbin, and that's not what you want if you're Jamal Warrican.
Yeah, these little mistakes in these periods of the game can cost. That would have been a dot delivery. Kyle Corbin now has a free license to go for maximum, and a maximum would push that score to 41, and all of a sudden Guardians in the ascendancy once more.
Same field, can't be changed. Deep backwards, sorry, deep mid wicket, and a fine leg on the boundary. Goes pace off. Hasn't got it, Kyle Corbin. Should be a couple of runs. Hasn't found the middle of the bat just yet, but the key thing is that he's still there. He knows he can make up for the slowest start. End of 3 overs. It's 37 for 1.
Remember the discussion we were having previous games, Nikhil, when we were wondering if bowlers should bowl their full allotment in successive overs as opposed to holding them back. I suspect Raymond Bino will go again based on how I see Joe Warcamp trying to set up this game possibly for himself to come in the depth and try to stifle the Guardians. We have a look here. It looks like Raymond Bino. Remember, I said Raymond Bino, he will bowl to that cut plan, as it were, those 3 men behind point. First initiated way back then, Nikhil. I don't know if you were a big cricket fan back then, but the BT team, now known as Lime, but then Lime, then Gladiola. There's a guy called Emery Holder, the spin pooch boss. That was his line of attack. Courtney Brown was the captain at that time, and it gave you an insight into how you could actually restrict people in the power play. And this is a plan that certain off spinners use. Raymond Bino, he fits the bill. That's what he does well.
67 from the remaining 7 overs in this innings. He's just so powerful. Authoritative from Alcindor Holder, who was the star in the semi-final yesterday, and he's looking to be the star again for his team in the grand finale.
So again, once more we have an experienced batsman looking to drill that delivery just wide of long off. Kyle Corbin scored a boundary off Raymond Bino in the previous over in that region as well, and Alcindor Holder doing that as well. Possibly may have to change the fielding angle just away from that mid-off position if Raymond Bino will continue with this line of attack.
This time though, Bino strikes, and it's that plan again, forcing him to cut. Holder hit him for a boundary, went back to that length, and this time gets his man. Here come the settlers.
The cut plan, as it were, works once more again. First removing Shakir Paris, and now Alcindor Holder falling as well. Very, very difficult customer is Raymond Bino when he's on the money. He will err from time to time, but majority of his deliveries will be in that region where he's asking batters to cut behind those 3 points. So, interesting proposition here, Nikhil. We have 2 batters who have scored for the Guardians back in the hut. The Guardians 41 for 2, 3.2 overs, just 4 deliveries left in this power play block. The question is, do they try to go hard in these 4 deliveries, or do they see out this period and decide that they've had enough? The run rate is just about 10 and over. What say you, Nikhil?
I think this is a perfect run chase for someone like a Shane Mosley, who's shown in the tournament that he can spend some time at the crease. You've got Corbin at the other end, but if the settlers can take another early wicket in the sense of this partnership, all of a sudden I would say the game goes back in their favor, because a new batter will bring dot balls and build some extra pressure.
Pressure it is, Nikhil. Pressure right now on the new batter. If Settlers can get 1 more wicket inside of this power play.
Mosley off the mark straight away. Interesting to see how Kyle Corbin now adjusts.
Very interesting indeed. Remember, we said he would look to go over that backward square position. There's no feeling change to the deep mid wicket and the long on. What does Kyle Corbin do here now? Does he look to go after another boundary or 2 in this power play and just stay on that rate, or does he bat out Raymond Bino? Is he looking to access the offside, possibly going over that mid-off region instead of going into his wicket? Left to be seen.
Mid-off was up, and it will be runs. A boundary as well for Kyle Corbin. And even on that length, which is tough to hit, just able to hit it in front of square, and it tells you about the skill of Corbin.
Yeah, and as I said, it was easy for me to read in terms of his possible options. The safest option was to go over that mid-off region, and he did so well enough. So he's gotten the boundary, and Corbin is an experienced campaigner. He will know he will need to go deep, and probably will not take any chances unless the ball is in the area again. He does have that shot that he plays very well, going inside the wicket and going over square leg. That's another boundary option as well.
This time in the onside, and this time more runs. robust from Corbin. And he could be shepherding this run chase, the captain of this Guardians team. He's been Mr. Reliable with the bat in hand as the 50 comes up inside this 4th over.
Yes, very good term used there, Nikhil. He will have to shepherd this innings. He's done so again. He's gotten that second boundary, minimal risk as well, up through that mid-wicket region. So really and truly now, the Guardians firmly poised in terms of this run chase. They're right on the rate.
Wicket is Corbin, and he's gone. And Bino's got 3. The Settlers are right back in this game. 54 now from 36, and 2 brand new batters at the crease. You cannot count out this Settlers team.
So remember, Nikhil, I kept saying it, he plays that shot very well. He goes inside the wicket, usually likes to go over that square leg region. Joe Melwar saying to him, if you want to do that, you can. I'm leaving the field in. No, the question is, Nikhil, he got 2 boundaries in this over. He is the most senior statesman. Was this advised off basically the last delivery of the power play, off the dangerous Raymond Bino? Was this advised to go for the other boundary or see what was left? Well, that would be conjecture at this moment. What we do know is that another batter is at the crease, a new batter is at the crease, albeit that the Guardians are 50 for 3 right on that runway. 3 critical wickets are down. Captain Kyle Corbin falls. We are in for stellar final.
That could be a huge moment in this match. Captain Corbin dismissed. So, and the 4 overs, they've still got the experience of Mosley, his clubmate Rashawn Williams, who will go. He won't be sticking around. He will go after it. And I think Jamal Warrican will be surely thinking that they're back in this game, because similar stage in terms of the runs. The Settlers were 52 after the power play, the Guardians being 50. However, they've lost 3 wickets now. And we have seen the depth of this Guardians team really being tested throughout this tournament.
Not only 3 wickets, but 3 key wickets. That engine room, power and experience and a bit of class. I'm speaking to Shakir Parks, Alcin the Holder and Captain Kyle Corbin. The Settlers knows it's possibly just in front. Remember, we're going through that middle phase now. And if Captain Warrican can marshal his troops in a way that they don't concede boundaries, particularly in this next block of 12 deliveries, all of a sudden the Guardians will be under the type of pressure that could see them fold away from this victory target. So, interesting proposition at hand, 54 from 36 deliveries.
And Shane Mosley now will have a very important job. Use his experience to spend some time. 6 overs remaining is a long time, but in a pressure game like a final, you think just 9 runs and over should be a walk in the park, but it's not. Oh, lovely. Boundary straight away. And Gavin Moray into the attack, missing his length.
This is an interesting over. Nikhil, Shane Mosley isn't the kind of batter that will take the game away from you. He's opted to go for Moray, who's considered the boundary straight away, going for a full straight delivery. Ill-advised. He has the fine leg up and is only a deep mid-wicket and a long on, so that's an ill-advised delivery. He has a third man, a sweeper and a long off. Possibly just needs to hit that area on the off stump on a good length.
Aerial taken, and another one for the Settlers. Is this game again turning on its head? Mosley after the boundary, Mariah storming back.
Yeah, much better delivery there from Mariah, just around the off stump. As we said, Shane Mosley, he will not take a game away from you. Shane Mosley to play those big boundary shots instead of those depth flicks in the previous delivery for 4. There he was, not timing that one at all. Shakir Marshall taking a relatively good catch. So 4 wickets now down for the Guardians. 4 wickets to the credit of the Settlers. This batting lineup will now be severely tested. Joe Melwar still has the aces up his sleeve. He still has himself for 2 overs. He still has the young man that uses those variations, Zidane Clark as well. So he'll possibly be happy with the two captains. The Guardians, you can see their energy now here in the field. They believe that they can pull this off. But let's not forget, still the Mario Richards, very dangerous customer. And let's not forget the heroics of Michael Powell as well yesterday to snatch victory away from the Warriors. So Guardians still have a bit of depth left, but the Settlers are continuing to pile on the pressure.
So big passage of play now. 50 needed from the remaining 34 deliveries. As the Mario Richards, who ensured that his team got over the line in semi-final number 1 yesterday, can he do it a second time? Now Rashawn Williams is more than capable. He has a few maximums and this game back in control. And even still, after losing 4 wickets, Jamal, they need less than 9 runs and over. Off the mark straight away is Richards.
Less than 9 and over, but this is the T10 format, as we well know. Nikhil, a good block of 6 deliveries and over, a good block of 12 deliveries, and all of a sudden that run rate goes up back to double figures. And we've seen some very interesting things here in previous games in this competition. Teams not being able to get 12 runs off the last over and so on and so forth. So lots to play for. More possibly this will be a last over encounter, certainly in terms of the equation is shaping towards that. Rashawn Williams would look to have his say, of course. He's a guy that can get on with business, but he's also known to play injudicious strokes. Sometimes his temperament lets him down.
Played really well, but got a hand on it working. Gonna come back for 2, and that's really all that's needed. Just need to rotate the strike for now. That one boundary from the first delivery of the over means that they've already got 7 from the over. They only need just above 8.5. And they've played the extra option in Demel Evelyn today. Hasn't come to the creases yet, but he can provide a bit of a low order resistance. They've got Romario Graves. And they've got, of course, the main man yesterday, Michael Powell, who struck those huge hits. So many may argue still, based on the good work that they did with the ball, Jamal, that this game is still maybe in the favor of the Guardians.
So let's try to plot the path here. Let's see how many maximums were struck by the Settlers. Let's see where the Guardians are at in terms of maximums. Let's see if we can pick up a trend, some kind of pattern here for our viewers. Very interesting. I still believe that boundary striking, particularly maximums, is the way to go. The rotation may find you in a spot of bother. So we'll have those stats shortly. Let's see if we can chart a course for the rest of this game.
He has pummeled that, Richards, the left-hander, and into the smaller side, making use of the width on offer.
Yeah, very good shot. He is a dangerous customer. The Mario Richards, we know that he's a guy that he can score at way better than a running ball. He strikes, and he strikes well on that occasion. Beautiful stroke. Instead that Mariah over, he did get the wicket. A bit expensive though. I think Captain Warcan will possibly turn to his other options, including himself, quite shortly. We haven't seen Shakir Marshall in action at all, but he's not playing.
Yeah, he's been left out today because I think they believe they have enough with the off spin of Bino. Picked up 3 wickets, but he is on the field as a sub fielder.
Similar type off spinners, you have to say. Warcan possibly going for the experience in Raymond Bino, and he's reaped dividends. He has gotten 3 wickets as well. Shakir Marshall, he operates in basically the same vein. Possibly better batter is Shakir Marshall. Raymond Bino not known for his batting exploits, but certainly with the ball, he's proven his worth here once again. With those 3 wickets, we see that bowling change now. We're talking about Zidane Clark, and I think he holds the key. Operates similarly to, say, a Jamali Lynch. A lot of pace off deliveries, has a decent short delivery. As we head now into the middle stretch, we're still in the middle stretch. 5 more overs left. Nikhil, where's your money?
Well, it's the final 5 of this BIM 10 tournament, and what a tournament it's been. Full of entertainment. This is fitting to end in this way because you're just not sure about where this game could go. They need less than 9 runs and over. It should be easy, but they've lost 4 wickets and 4 of the top order. So now it's a lot of the younger players who've got to step up. Williams, Richards this partnership, and then even someone like Adamel Evelyn, who's still to come. 30 deliveries, 42 to get. This could go either way. Starts with a wide. Again down the leg side, and these are valuable runs coming. Bonus runs for the Guardians. They've now got 2 and haven't faced any deliveries, legal deliveries that is, as yet.
Yeah, very poor start. Very poor start. Can they look for this? This is a game. This game has very tight margins right now. This is on the knife's edge. Any advantage given by either side, wicket or free runs, could alter the result.
Comeback though, just the 1 run, the leg by, and now a lot on this young man Richards. He's had a tough time with the gloves, put on a catch early, but if he can win this game for the Guardians, that will be forgotten. Remember, they put down the catch of Kevin Wickham in that very first over of the game. He went on to make 45 from just 21, and you think without his impact they would have not got nowhere close to 100 runs. 39 from 29. This game is so nicely poised. And usually in the T10 format, this will be very easy. But because it's a final, that added pressure, young players in action, so hard to pick a winner from this stage. Into the pitch again. Excellent ploy after the first 2 went for wides. Taking pace off as well, Zidane Clark. I think the key though will be Rashawn Williams, because he has the ability to hit 2 or 3 maximums in quick time.
Let's say the key will be this partnership, because Damari Richards, he's no slouch as well. Showed us what he can do already so far for this innings with that lovely shot through that mid-off region. So this possibly is the partnership, Miguel, I would say.
Let's go on to that shorter length on all 3 of these deliveries, the legal deliveries that is. Zidane Clark. And it's a good tactic as well. I think much more feasible for the left-hander, but interesting that he's still going to that length for Rashawn Williams, because he's plays that pull shot well, and he's also uses those long levers, but it is into the bigger side, so decent planning. This time it goes pace off.
Skill set being shown here. We did say that he operates similarly to Jamali Lynch. Jamali Lynch had a wonderful time in the previous innings, and I think the stage really is set for Zidane Clark. The pitch just has a bit of grip in it, just enough for his variations. As you said, he is bowling those deliveries and asking Rashawn Williams to go to the bigger side. So apart from the 2 wides so far, very good over. Still needs to close it out. Just 2 deliveries left.
This time goes short, and it's interesting because we've seen a couple of seamers in this tournament who have the ability to produce deliveries like that, where they're not the quickest but still able to bowl that faster short delivery.
Yeah, the key, albeit that it may not be the quickest, is the height. Short deliveries, good effective short deliveries need to be high, and you saw the square leg umpire there signaling 1 for the over, so that certainly had the height. The height does make a difference.
Again, slower bouncer and well executed over. 3 runs from it, and the Settlers claw their way back into the game, because that asking rate much closer to 10 runs per over now. It's 38 needed from the last 4, 66 for 4.
Yes, it's all about combinations right now. Zidane Clark doing his job, no doubt, in that over. Jomel War can seemingly will continue with Mariah from this northern end. So remember, we did say that he utilizes the spin on occasion, but possibly reading the scenario, realizing that pace on is the better option, particularly to Demario Richards. Remember, I spoke to you about this, Nikhil. Jamel Warkan doesn't really like to bowl to attacking left-handers. He has, you know, just a bit of a botch history when it comes to attacking left-handers, and Demario Richards, he fits that mold. So possibly looking to remove him before introducing himself. But again, it's poised. This is the partnership. This is the period. This next block of 12 will give us a better picture. We're heading down the home stretch now. 4 more overs left. Still a very, very balanced encounter. This is what you want to see from a finals. 38 required from 24 deliveries.
Usually Gavin Moret is used in the final 2 overs of the innings, but now it's interesting that Warrican has gone to his second in the 7th over, so it's gonna put a lot on Clark. I think it might be a case of Warrican not even bowling in this innings, just based on the amount of options he has.
The other thing is that I get the feeling like Warrican and Kyle Corbin have been playing cat and mouse with each other in terms of tactics. Even from how the opening batters went and Saturday bowling changes, it's almost like they're trying not to be predictable.
Another swing and a miss across the line. We did see Demel Evelyn bowl that 8th over, which just went for 9 runs. And that was a bit of a surprise option. Could he go to someone like a Nicholas Curtin, who bowls off spin and will spin the ball away from a Demario Richards, or does he even go to himself, which is probably an unpopular choice given the fact that you've got just 2 overs remaining after this. But Warrican is experienced, bowls that left arm spin. Kadeem Malin has still got 1. You think Zidane Clark will bowl 1 as well after just going for the 5. And just another single. So similarly, where they had a really quick start, the Settlers, and then collapsed for 51 runs in the for 7 wickets in the last 6 overs. We're seeing similar here, where they were 50 after 4. Now they're just 18 runs since that 4th over.
Yeah, we've seen that throughout this entire tournament. We have enough data now. We have a data set that suggests that through the middle period of the innings on these UV surfaces, if you have seamers that are prepared to use pace off, etc., they are effective. They do slow the rate, and it's just the continuing trend.
It's gone high, very high. Under it is Shakir Marshall, who takes another one. And hasn't been in the 11 today, but he's come on the field as a sub. And that has took some catching. He's made no mistake.
I love the confidence of the young man. Yes, it took some catching, Nikhil, but he ordered people away from him from the get-go. He was like, this is my catch. He was so confident under that ball. He didn't want anyone around him, and he did not disappoint. Once again, Captain Jamel Warkan doing the right thing, keeping Mariah on. Demario Richards falling prey, slower delivery there, we see it on the monitor, not being able to make good contact to that farthest side. You did say that Jamel Warkan will not bowl possibly, but I will suggest that with the removal of Demario Richards, we may see him, as I said before, he doesn't necessarily like to bowl to attacking left-handers, but nevertheless, whatever his plan will be for himself, his plans so far have been well executed. The Settlers continue to make inroads into this Guardian innings. Control still is just about 50-50, but this is certainly good cricket to watch in terms of planning, in terms of execution, and certainly in terms of a good catch there from Shakir Marshall. So, new batter to the crease again. This game continues to ebb and flow. We cannot call a winner. We have to keep our money in our pockets, and that's what you want to see from a finals, and it's happening in front of us right now.
Yesterday, they needed 27 runs from the last 2 overs. Could be looking at a similar position as Demel Evelyn comes to the middle. Another left-handed option. Sorry, right-handed option. But he was brought in to the team today for the Guardians specifically for his batting exploits. Hasn't had much to do in the tournament, but does have a couple of small cameos that he has played with the bat in hand. He got that unbeaten 16 previously in the tournament that helped him get over the line in the group stages. But just the 18 runs in the 2 innings he's batted, Evelyn. Can he be the hero, the unsung hero today? They'll look for 2, but it'll be 1. Williams has continuously tried to go through that onside, regardless of the line. And it's almost played against him because it's been a much bigger side. End of 7 overs, 70 for 5. It's 34 now needed from the last 3.
We continue to say that these surfaces at the university, they just have a bit more forward bowlers who are prepared to take pace off, etc. And you rightly identified that Williams is going hard and he's going harder, and sometimes just having a swing is not necessarily what's needed on these surfaces, particularly if you're not getting deliveries in the slot that you can just execute, get your hands through the ball. The people who have hit 6s and good 6s here and batted with rhythm understood that, hit deliveries on length, etc. But it seems that Williams is just prepared to go hard, and it's not been working out for him, particularly to Zidane Clark. This battle will continue. Zidane Clark in the previous over obviously outfoxing Williams. We have to see if he's learned his lessons now. This will give you a good indication if he's understanding what's going on out there based on how he's about to play Clark.
He's got hold of that one. Yes, he has, out the middle of the bat. Ice in his veins, Rashawn Williams, and what a start to the over.
Slot delivery, that was the key there for Williams. That was right in the slot. He was able to free his arms on that occasion. That's 6 runs to his credit. Sure, Zidane Clark will learn his lesson and will seek to adjust that length. But nevertheless, Brownlee to Williams. Brownlee the first delivery of Nova, which means Clark, he's now under pressure. How does he respond?
Well, it's in his area, Rashawn Williams. He's just too good. And this is why he's been promoted throughout this tournament. Came in at number 5 today. This time though, Clark fights back. This game of cricket does not get too much better than this. 6 from the first delivery and now a wicket from the second.
Again, that delivery, the response from Clark was on the appropriate length, just back of a length. Rashawn Williams has not shown, certainly he didn't show me, that he was able to negotiate deliveries on that good length, that hard length, just possibly about 4.5 to 5 meters. Again on that occasion, good length, edge found. Spare thought for the keeper. That was a wonderful catch. That was relatively sharp. The keeper is pretty close. He was going the opposite direction as well. That is quality keeping there, if I dare say. Beautiful comeback from Clark. The plans from Ward can continue to work. He's now gone 2 overs in succession for Mariah. He's going 2 overs in succession with Clark, and he has reaped the rewards. He's continued to make inroads into this innings. 6 wickets down now for the Guardians. The Settlers continue to advance their cause towards this trophy in the BIM 10 Dream 11. But still 2 more overs and 4 balls to go. The Guardians are still pretty much in it.
It's Mario Graves who comes to the middle. He's capable, really in the off spin, but can bat, can find the boundary as well. This is aggressive captaincy from Jamal Warrican though, because he's only used 5 options and he's already bowled out Mariah, now Zidane Clark, his 2 main seam options. He still has 2 overs to make up, and crucially it's just Kadeem Aline and Bob who have got 1 apiece. So does he go to someone like a Kevin Stout for this penultimate over coming up, or does he go to himself? He hasn't come into the attack as yet. Going for the win, Jamal Warrican. What a game we have. And a dot ball, crucial. 28 from 15, the asking rate goes up, the pressure as well increases. Of course, they do have Mikhail Powell, and based on what we saw yesterday, 20 from 6 deliveries, they'll be banking on him. But yesterday they were 90 for 6, today 76 for 6. And again, that top order has struggled when it's mattered most for the Guardians. That short delivery, Zidane Clark has used it so well in this tournament. 9 runs conceded from 10 deliveries now bowled.
The height for me is the hallmark of his short deliveries. They make good height. They have a bit of pace on them as well. He's not the quickest, but he does put good effort. He does have a very, very good skill set, you have to say, particularly for this format. He's showing it here.
This time goes fuller, pace off. It means it's just going to be the 1 run. Even wanted to get back for 2, but sent back by Graves in the end. 27 from 13. It's not going to be easy. but it's never easy in this T10 format. And they will know at the back of their mind that I think probably a new bowler will have to come into the attack, because it's a big risk to go to Alston Bob, who was very expensive in his first over, went for 18 runs. Maybe a Warwick, maybe a Stout.
As I said to you, 2 right-handers at the crease. Warwick will back himself to come.
Run an opportunity, but opting not to throw. A good over for Zidane Clark, and what a spell. That could be match winning in the context of this game. It's just 8 from the over. They need 26 from 12. Similar position yesterday. They needed 27. The Guardians.
Yeah, let's not forget Warwick does have the option of Kadeem Allen as well. So he can close out the innings. And if he gets to a stage where the Guardians need at least 14, 15 in the last over, he can really use any of his options, including himself. So he understands what he's about. He understands what he's doing out there. As we see now, that bowling change looks like.
But if they do go on to win this game, what about those 3 wickets from Raymond Bino? So important. Took 2 in 1 over of the Alcinda Holder and Kyle Corbin, 2 of their more experienced, if not the most experienced batters.
So for me, Nikhil, that passenger play between that matchup between Kyle Corbin and Raymond Bino, after Kyle Corbin got 2 boundaries and 2 high percentage boundaries, albeit that he did not have to take chances. He had 1 delivery to negotiate, and he decided to be greedy, if I can use that term, and he went after Raymond Bino inside his wicket, and he was out caught at square leg. And for me, that was the pivotal moment in the game, because it just felt they were on top of the rate, and Kyle Corbin didn't have to do any much more other than silk that last delivery and keep Warwick under pressure in terms of his presence alone at the crease, knowing that he has to make certain changes. He actually played into the settlers' hands.
26 from 2 overs. Kadeem Ali starts with the Yorker, and that's the thing about these 2 players in the middle for the Guardians. Both, you could say, touch players, more capable of rotating the strike rather than finding the boundaries. But now with the asking rate close to 14 runs per over, they will have to hit at least 2 in this over if they want to have a chance of winning this game. They required 13 runs from 6 yesterday, and they won it with 3 balls to spare. Can they get it to below 20? Hasn't gone long. Could be another one, and is. And they're falling at the wrong time for the Guardians. Graves looking to go big. Can't clear the boundary. Another one for the Settlers.
Falling like 9 pins now. The procession has started. The funeral procession. Good delivery there from Kadeem Ali into the surface. And as we said, once you're prepared as a seaman to get into the surface, pace on or off, you get value. That delivery got very, very, very big on Graves. Hit very high in the bat. Easy catch for Curtin. Curtin is never dropping that, not at this stage of the game. So we have a situation here where the Guardians is just tailing off a bit. It's actually going towards a negative. Their big players, their big batters did not do enough, it seems, certainly at this stage. Remember, there were heroics yesterday from the Guardians. They certainly will need heroics here again. Remember, in the form of Mikhail Powell, who finished that game emphatically yesterday off the experienced Hakeem Jordan. So, if they're to win today, we will need to see a bit more of that, possibly from Powell or these 2 at the crease.
Not sure the thinking here from Pedro Collins and the Guardians, because Powell yesterday, 20 from 6, and they've sent Jamali Lynch ahead of him. I thought you have a man hitting the ball like that, you want him facing these 10 deliveries just because of that ability to clear the ropes. Lynch, a small man. Let's see if he can find the power. Ali has got fine leg, deep third. No fielders on the offside boundary. Mid off up in the circle. He's got long, deep mid wicket, deep backward square as the 5 out. It's 25 from 10. Again, this could be another one. It goes high. Curtin under it. Curtin takes it. The Settlers are running away with this Dream 11 final. They're close, but not there yet. 8th wicket going down for the Guardians. It's been a capitulation.
Yes, capitulation indeed. Another hard length delivery. Kadeem Ali coming and delivering the goods for Captain Warwick. And remember, we were here estimating when Warwican himself may bowl, etc., etc. And we did say that he utilized spin for majority of the tournament, but Warwican, recognizing that seam would work on the surface, he's gone back to one of his pacemen. He's gone back to Kadeem Ali and he's reaped dividends. And I have to say, I continue to say, for me, Nikhil, Jomel Warwican has been the best captain on show in this BIM T10. Corbett not too far away. He's done some magnificent things with the bat and in the field as well. But Jomel Warwican has not put a foot wrong. He really knows his players. He really has his players in tune with what he wants to do. And he understands the rotations, the bowling changes and the angles. And to the players' credit, they have executed. Remember, a captain is as good as his resources and the execution of those plans, and so far his team have done everything right. They have not put a foot wrong, and they're charging towards victory here with 9 balls left.
Well, the man that was a hero yesterday, Gil Powell, can he do it twice in 2 days? It was a similar time when they needed 27 from the last 2. This has been a brilliant 4 deliveries though from Kadeem Ali, who was expensive, went for 12 in his first. He's pulled things back ever so well. There's now going to be 25 from 8. Herculean effort required. Just think though, that scoreboard pressure in a final gives you an extra buffer of 10 to 15 runs. There's that deep third in place, but we'll get to it. Just be 2. Has to hurry. I think he's short. Well short, Mikhail Powell. And the heroics will not happen for the Guardians. The 9th wicket to go down, and that could be the final nail in the coffin.
Final nail in the coffin indeed. I dare say that the coffin has already been in the ground. It's just a matter of putting that dirt over it now. The Settlers, they're all over them. Evidence again by that indecision there. Definitely not 2 runs. Good feelings as well on the boundary. A nice sharp throw in, one bounce into keeper Teron Gibson. Let's spare a thought for keeper Teron Gibson as well. I believe that his keeping as well for the Settlers swings these fine margin games, say, as opposed to Demario Richards, who's not done as good as a job as possible, missing a couple chances, etc. Sometimes a wicketkeeper can make the difference. I dare say that the Settlers team has been the more balanced of the team, certainly in terms of execution of the plans and also personnel for particular roles. And it's evidence here in this result, 84-9. The Guardians are in real danger of being bowled out here. You have to say credit, big credit to Jomel Warwican and his men.
Well, they're 7 balls away from victory. Settlers, and you think, unless some sort of miracle, it's going to be a win for the Warwican and his team in this first ever Dream 11 BIM 10 final delivery of the penultimate. Has he got enough on it? Pius Emilian? Yes, he has. It's gone all the way for 6, and here we go again. It'll be 18 from the last 6 deliveries. What a strike from Pius Emilian.
Almost against the run of play, you have to say. That was a wonderful stroke from Pius Emilian. Again though, Nikhil, significance about that delivery is that it was in the slot, and every single slot delivery that has been bowled, certainly in this finals, has been dealt with. Wonderful flurry of the bat there from Pius Emilian. So just a flicker of hope left then for the Guardians. We're into this last over now. Can we see another heroic effort from a Guardian lower order batsman to get them over the line? We certainly need that here today. The bowling change, it looks like it will be Kevin Stout.
So the captain, Jomel Warwican, not coming into the attack, and it tells you about the amount of options that they have at their disposal, the Settlers, and that's been probably how they've been able to separate themselves. Versatility in the bowling attack. Yeah,
and to the credit of Captain Warwican, again, reading the conditions well, understanding when and where to bowl the spinners, when and where to bowl the seamers, and what about the introduction of Raymond Bino into this team? We could have easily gone Shakir Marshall, but we went for the experience of Raymond Bino, bowl into that cut plan, those hard back and left deliveries, and certainly in this game it proved dividends. 3 wickets to his credit, really blasting out a hole in the batting order of the Guardians in this power play. He's been the main destroyer. He's been a pivotal factor in the reason why the Settlers are in this position. You have to say credit to them for their game plans and even their team selections.
3 maximums is what Demel Evelyn and the Guardians will be thinking about. Can they find 3 6s? Yesterday we thought this game was over. In came the low order from the Guardians and won it for them to put them in this final. Stout, though, is an experienced campaigner. Hasn't bowled much in the tournament, but has picked up 2 wickets in the one time he's bowled, so has had success. Work on his bats, his experience. 3 deep on the onside. Final over. Here we go. Starts full. Evelyn picks him up. Welcome, Demel Evelyn. Starts with a 6. This game is still on. 12 from 5.
This is why it's a final. As we said, will we see heroics from the Guardians? The similar heroics to yesterday when they snatched victory through the bat of Mikhail Powell. We're seeing Demel Evelyn saying, I can, for a lustrous 6 over that long off region.
Stout went full. Cost him. Where would he go now? Into the pitch, and Evelyn picks him up again. It's 6 more. He's got ice in his veins. Demel Evelyn brought in for the final. And out of nowhere, the Guardians have stormed back in this match.
Nowhere indeed. Nowhere indeed. Kevin Stout adjusting his length with Demel Evelyn, but depositing that over the deep wicket region. And all of a sudden, once again, Nikhil, the game has turned on its head. That knife's edge. And we've been seeing this. This has been the theme throughout the semi-finals and now the finals here. This passage of play, 2 deliveries have made such a big difference. And all of a sudden, the Settlers are the ones under pressure. Can the Guardians clinch the victory here?
22-year-old Demel Evelyn. He has to be smart though, because they're 9 wickets down. The 1 delivery away, the Settlers. Goes Yorker. And it's taken. What a blind of a catch to win the tournament. Zidane Clark has pulled off an unbelievable catch. And the Settlers are first ever champions. Evelyn is in shock. What a finish to this game of cricket. This is the tournament you want to watch.
My goodness gracious me. Could we have a more fitting end to such an enthralling final? Demel Evelyn pulling the Guardians back. And just when it seemed that he was just in the grass, Zidane Clark says, no, it's in my grass. What a wonderful diving catch away to his left there. A full delivery from Kevin Stout. I hope we see that on the monitor. Cameraman, please tell me you've got that. My goodness gracious me. That powerful finish and a fitting end for the Settlers team. And they are victorious here in this BIM 10. Sponsored by Dream 11. You have to say, what more could we ask for? That grand finale, that final delivery, summing up what this tournament has been.
They were the best team in the group stages. The Settlers had a slow start, but credit to Coach Clinton Hill and his team for fighting their way back into this game.
Let's see that magic moment, Nikhil.
Head coach Robin Paris as well. That was an excellent catch from Zidane Clark though. At point, had that gone for a boundary, you would think that was game, set, match. He pulled off an excellent piece of fielding, and that will be remembered for a long time. You think the Settlers though deserved to win this tournament. They've been the best team by far in all 3 facets of the game.
They have been the best team by far, but the Guardians kept on coming. They kept on coming throughout this. Oh my God, you see that again on the monitor. Parallel to the ground, both feet off the ground. And what was even more special about that catch is he took it in his right hand way over to his left shoulder. That was a reverse cut in mid-air. That's a wonderful catch. That is a fitting end to a wonderful tournament. Credit to the Settlers for pulling off victory, for winning this finals of this Dream 11 BIM T10.
Well, they'll be disappointed with that, the Guardians, because they've got so much power in that top order. Didn't come to the party today. But in the final, all the pressure on. Demel Evelyn though at the end, 15 from 6. Almost thought they won it. 2 maximums in the last over. But there can only be 1 winner. I think they'll look to the fact that they didn't have enough wickets in hand going into those last 3 overs. And in the end, falling just 5 runs short. A perfect poster for what's to come in the future of this Dream 11 BIM 10. The brilliant final. And look at those 3 wickets from Raymond Bino. 3 for 20. Aline pitched in with 2, Mariah 2 as well, and 1 apiece for Stout. And Zidane Clark, who will be remembered for his brilliant piece of fielding, 1 for 11 in his 12 deliveries bowled as well. What a game of cricket we've had. And don't forget that 45 from 21 from Kevin Wickham. Excellent day of cricket. And we want to encourage you to stay with us as well, because in a couple of minutes' time, we're going to be having the awards presentation where we'll hear from the captains as well as celebrate some of the big achievements in this tournament. So do join us in a few minutes' time.
Maak je neer? Effects mic? The cable for the effects mic? The cable for the effects mic. I want you to disconnect it because I want to pull it out. Testing. Yeah, so see if you get it through the. You get it? You hearing it? Testing, testing, testing. Okay, good. So, Julie, look you. So, this for TV. We can't be concerned about that right now. I'm not feeling way more with you. Huh?
They tell me that I'm in my jurisdiction. I think y'all crazy. You only somebody take a picture.
Testing, testing, 1 2, 1 2. Testing, 1 2. Testing, testing, 1 2. Testing, 1 2. Testing 1, 2.
Wherever the boss tell me I'd be right here or something. Right there, yeah.
Testing 1, 2, 1, 2. Who is presenting?
You want to have no one here?
Okay, get them on that side. You stand on this side and talk.
You stay here.
Huh?
You stay here.
Yeah. Where you going now? Where, Julia? You got the mic? Julia? You have the mic? You receiving the audio? Okay, thank you. I cut it off. Alright, that's what we're doing, right? Thank you. Slight change. Slight change. You here, right? That the person who making the presentation come next to you?
But they have to come up at different times.
I understand that. So each one will come and get in position here. I will talk to Kurt.
Alright, you talk to you. But where you on the team? Talk to me. They have to come up one by one. They can. Ready? How's you ready?
No problem.
How copied or whatever you name is to get pictures of these. Well, we've come to the end of the first ever June 11 BIM 10 tournament. And what a tournament it's been. That final, perfect close to perfect. Highlight for what's to come in the future for this tournament. First, I'd like to acknowledge the presentation party alongside me. From left to right, we've got Tournament Director, Mr. Kurt Graves. We've got Tournament Chairman, Mr. Alan Nichols. We've got President of the Barbados Cricket Association, Conde Riley, and CEO of KFC, Mr. Short Davis, and of course, His Excellency Ambassador, Mr. Noel Lynch. I want to say a special thank you to all of the sponsors of this first edition of the BIM 10 Cricket. Mr. Davis himself for Kentucky Fried Chicken sponsorship, BTMI, Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., Williams Equipment, Digicel, Willow TV, where the games were streamed in the USA and Canada, and of course Barbados Today for being the exclusive media partners and having this available, the last week of games available to a massive Bajan audience. We'd also like to acknowledge all of our umpires, match referees and commentators, all those a part of making this BIM 10 tournament possible. Now I'd like to get His Excellency Mr. Noah Lynch to say a few words about the tournament and the impact of the BIM 10 on the development of cricket in Barbados.
Good afternoon, not even afternoon yet. But let me thank you first of all for inviting me to say a few words. Here I am sitting in Washington and I'm watching a stream on Willow TV. You know what Willow TV is? And I see Barbadian cricketers playing cricket in a competition in Barbados. Now, that in itself tells you a little bit about how expansive your exposure has been in a small tournament of this kind and what potential it holds for the future. Don't let anybody fool you. Cricket is at the core of our national development, and we owe a lot of our social and economic development to cricket. So anything that is being done to promote cricket and to create professionals in cricket bodes well for the future of cricket, not only for Barbados but for the West Indies. So I want to thank you for the opportunity. This tournament, because of where it is streamed, Willow has over 4.5 million viewers and subscribers. So it means that it has great tourism potential as well. And these are people that can visit Barbados. So I just want to congratulate the sponsors, congratulate the organizers, and congratulate you, the players, for what you are doing for the development of cricket in Barbados. And I've been watching cricket for a long time, and it is one of the best catches I've ever seen. Blessings.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Lynch. Now I ask the President of the Barbados Cricket Association, Mr. Conde Riley, to come up and say a few words on the tournament's impact, of course, the tournament being played in Barbados.
Yes, good morning, everyone. When the BCA was asked to sanction this tournament, I had no hesitation in so doing, in that I knew the impact it would have on our local players. It also is a great addition to our cricket itinerary. We've never held a T10, so I was very excited. I watched a few of the games, and they were all very exciting. Unfortunately, at the end of a tournament, the two finalists, only one can win. And I believe that catch sums the entire tournament up. It was a brilliant catch. I blinked and I missed it. So, well done to, I didn't even realize who took the catch. Zidane Clark. Oh, one of our young upcoming cricketers. Well done, son. So, congratulations to the organizers. Must thank the UWA management for allowing this tournament to be played here. And as I said, this is a really good addition to the Barbados cricketing itinerary. It also professionalized a bit of our cricket, and I think that was a good thing for these young people. I know some people said it was not enough money, but things start small and they grow. So thank you and good luck in the years ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Riley. And now we speak about some of the board members. We want to acknowledge Mr. Jason Harper, who could not be here due to other work engagements, and Mr. Jamal Slocum, director and franchise holders of the tournament, as well as the chairman, Mr. Adam Nichols, who were asked to come and say a few words on the first ever historic Dream 11 BIM 10. He's the chairman, Mr. Nichols.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Nikhil. Let me just say at the outset that the tournament that just culminated almost did not take place. And the reason I say that, we were in discussion with Dream 11, and when we finally got to the point where we could go ahead, it was so close to Christmas that I felt are the players going to be really coming out? Are they going to be able to beat the traffic? Is the enthusiasm there? I wasn't sure. And I want to compliment the players. The enthusiasm I saw from you players and the professionalism. Barbados cricket, and by extension West Indies cricket, is in a good place. Don't mind we are at the bottom now, but you have to start somewhere. And I think what you all have shown in this tournament bodes well for the future. Thank you all very much for your participation. There's one person that I really need to mention because I don't know what we would have done without her. She likes to stay in the background, but I must say that Merle Niles did an exceptional job as usual. As I said, she doesn't like to come to the fore, but I think this tournament could not have ended without mentioning her name. And finally, young Mr. Clark. I have never seen a better catch. Congratulations, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nichols, and for your hard work to getting this tournament on the road. And as he said, Ms. Niles, Merle Niles, we want to also highlight some of the people that were on the ground here at the BIM 10 and played a big part in the operations. So we have Ms. Merle Niles, we've got Romel Sargent, Richard Haynes, and especially Akeem Diwar for pretty much being a utility man, doing all things to help cricket at what is his home. But another man we must mention is Mr. Kirk Graves, who's been around the world but came back home to manage this tournament, and he's been amazing at every single game. We want to ask him to come up and give the vote of thanks as well.
All right, thank you, everyone. For me, being asked to come home to deliver this tournament was something special. As I said, I've had the opportunity to work around the world and help many youngsters and many people, so it was a pleasure for me to come home and do this for you guys. So thank you guys. But most importantly, I think you guys need to give yourself a round of applause because I've watched the Dream 11 series, and for me, the best cricket was played here in Barbados. So I would love you guys to give yourself a round of applause. I would like to also personally thank the umpires, the match officials, especially the ground staff here, and they've done an amazing job this week. And again, I will echo, this tournament would not be possible without Miss Merle Niles. So again, please give her one more round of applause. So on behalf of myself, the sponsors, Barbados Cricket Association, Digicel, KFC, I just want to thank you guys for making this tournament a success. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your efforts, Mr. Graves. We now want to get into some of the tournament awards, and there are quite a few, as we've had some excellent performances in this BIM 10 tournament. And first we'll start with the Most Wickets award, and this man, even though he came up short in the semi-final, he's been no one else in the tournament has been even close to him. Akeem Jordan for his 15 wickets. And we'll ask Mr. Stuart Davis from KFC to present him with his Most Wickets award. 15 wickets in 11 matches for Akeem Jordan. Had a stellar average and an excellent economy as well. Conceded 20 runs just twice in the entire tournament. And he's done really well. So congrats to him. We'll now ask His Excellency Ambassador Mr. Noah Lynch to present the Most Runs award, and that goes to Jonathan Carter, who could not be here. So we'll ask Mr. John Delaney to come and collect the award on his behalf. Special performance from Mr. Carter, 259 runs in the tournament in just 11 innings. And we'll also ask John to stay very close because Jonathan Carter is also the MVP of the tournament, and he'll be presented that award by Mr. Conde Riley, the BCA president. 8 wickets as well as 259 runs. Had a stellar all-round tournament. We now want to ask the tournament director, Mr. Kirk Graves, to come and present the runners-up, the Guardians, with their medals. And in the meantime, we'll also have a word with Kyle Corbin, the runners-up captain. So, Kyle, if you can lead your team up to collect their medals. And just have a few words with us as his team collects, Kyle. Obviously, you'll be disappointed with that result, but you guys were the best team for a big part of that tournament, was in first position for probably 2 out of the 3 weeks. How do you rate your performance?
I think we played pretty well throughout the tournament. We stuck to our plans mostly. I think that each game showed somebody else. They put their hands up, and everybody proved to be a match winner. You see, Powell yesterday won a game for us, and Demel. Kudos to him, who I think this was his third game, and he had 2 pretty good innings before. So we saw that we had a strong bench. We had guys who were playing together and playing for one cause, and it proved well for us. I guess in the end we didn't really get over the line, but I think that it was a big effort from each and every one.
Now, you guys restricted them after a really quick start to just 103. How did you feel going into that break, chasing that?
Pretty confident. I think that this is one of the most explosive batting lineups. We saw the way Kadeem and Kevin played, two bright young prospects for us in Barbados. I think that, to restrict them after the start, I was pretty happy with the 104 we were going to chase. I think we got off to a good start. Lost our way a little bit in the middle, but big effort at the end there to even bring it down close, and it took a brilliant catch to, I think, take the game away from us. But still proud of the guys' effort today.
And also, finally, a man of your experience in Barbados cricket, what is the future of this T10 format now, providing opportunities for a lot of local players to play at the professional level?
I think that is outstanding for us. I think you can see a lot of young talent coming through the tournament. Young bowlers such as like Jaden Law, BIM asked to bowl in the death. I think that his bowling, to me, he has a lot of work. He has a lot of work to do, but I think he has a bright future. And again, Kevin Wickham, these guys, Kadeem Ali, these players are really, really good players, and they're coming up. They're coming fast. So you must look out for them, and it gives them some really good exposure as well. And I think that the future of our cricket is the sky's the limit, as we say. But I think that once managed well, once they're given the correct tools, then they can go as far as they want.
Thank you very much, Carl. Hard luck today.
Thanks.
That was Kyle Corbin, the Guardian skipper. We'll ask a valiant effort from Mr. Corbin. We're going to ask the president of the Barbados Cricket Association, Mr. Conde Riley, to present the settlers with their winning medals. And also we'll ask Captain Mr. Jamal Warrican to come up and say a few words as he leads his team. Fantastic performance from his team. Jamal, you must be very pleased with this. You guys finished first in the group stages and now have finished first in the overall tournament.
I'm very excited and happy with our performance. There's a lot of planning behind the scene between the coach and staff. So to see that we executed and winning competition is very good. Playing with the guys that made it a lot easier. Couldn't ask a better bunch of guys to play with, and the understanding and the team spirit that we played with was very, very outstanding. So I'm very happy that we came out victorious, and it's very well deserving to every individual here.
Your top order, especially Kevin Wickham, Kadeem Ali, and Kevin Stout, that was a strategy that you guys worked so well for in the tournament. How important were they?
And Bradford, I thought with Bradford as well. Those four guys have been very outstanding. They set the foundation. And everything starts from the bottom and come up. So that foundation is always able to build. So I really appreciate the effort those guys have done for us as a team. But also the keeper, he have done outstanding. Any chance he got at the bat, shot Marsh as well. For me, I've been a very collective unit, and well done to every individual here.
And tell me about that catch from Zidane Clark.
Oh, that's outstanding. When things are going your way, when things are happening for you as a team, everything continues to go as well. So Zidane just put the icing on the cake now. So that was outstanding by him.
Well, Jamal, enjoy this one. First ever winners of the Dream 11 BIM 10, and I'm sure you'll be looking forward to continuing to do well in the future of this format.
Definitely with the settlers.
I'd love to hear that. Jamal Warrican, the champion, as his team still collects their medals. Then the coaches, Mr. Clint St. Hill, assistant coach, just having success with the Wildy Club and now success in the BIM 10. And his head coach, Mr. Robin Paris, who's led his team ever so well. And before we allow the settlers to collect that winning trophy, we have to recognize the player of the match in the final. We'll ask Mr. Stuart Davis from KFC to acknowledge this young man, because what a blind of a catch, but also a crucial 12 deliveries bowled, 1 for 11 in 12 balls bowled today. Mr. Zidane Clark, the player of the match for the final. Zidane Clark, excellent day for him, an excellent day for the Settlers. We'll now give them their moment to shine as we ask the tournament chairman, Mr. Alan Nichols, to present Jamel Warrican and his team with the winning trophy and check of $5,000 for the Settlers. Excellent day in the sun for the Settlers, and what a tournament they've had. And now the check for $5,000 presented by Mr. Hallam Nichols. And now, Jamel, it's your time to have fun. What a tournament it's been. We look forward to having season 2 in the new year. But what a day for the Settlers. The champions, first ever of the Dream 11 BIM 10 tournament. Give that.